Does this work? No, let me face the light. Okay, I think this is better.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's good. So
Yeah.
obviously this is episode 3 of Zimbabwe Bright Futures educational series. Thank you so much again for agreeing to be part of it.
Hey, you're welcome.
So I guess
it's an honor and a pleasure.
No, honestly, I think the first time we met was the last time I was in Zimbabwe, and we've kept in touch since then. So it's been really, really good. So I guess maybe let's start with a short introduction of yourself, your background, what do you do, just to tell the viewers.
Okay. You want me to introduce myself? Okay, Jonah Mungoshi. Yes. I'm 15 years old. I was born in 1968 in a city called Gweru in Zimbabwe. I studied at the University of Zimbabwe. I did business, and after that I worked for about 13 years in the corporate world in banking. And then I left the corporate world in 2003 to pursue consultancy. So I'm a management consultant, but I'm also heavily involved in just developing people's potential. So I've started a youth organization that helps young people to develop their entrepreneurship skills. It's called Empowered Life Trust. So you can check it out, empoweredlifetrust.org.zw. I also work with teens. We have a program called Teen Zim. You can check out teenzim.org. And we have various programs along those lines. But I also run a lot of programs that just help people help to achieve their full potential, so to speak.
No, that sounds really great. And I love the fact that, you know, what you're doing ties in with the whole ethos of the Zim Bright Futures program. So obviously we're trying to kind of, I guess, figuratively kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We've got our mentorship sessions that we've got going on, but then we're also raising money to help underprivileged families in the Mutare area to access food packages. So I love that, you know, your essence and what you're about is very altruistic and helping young people, especially because I think we really need it. And I guess, you know, during lockdown as well, that's something that people have started thinking more and more about in terms of, you know, how can I improve myself? How can I upskill? What is out there for me to, you know, just experience, I guess. So talk to me a little bit about, you know, like just goal setting in general, because I guess this is something that a lot of people probably want to do while we've got all this downtime, but don't really know where to start. So we want to hear, you know, from the expert's perspective.
Well, what I believe about goal setting is that the starting point is your purpose. Is the reason why you want to do what you want to do. A lot of times people say, well, I don't have consistency, I procrastinate, I can't stick to my goals. Well, the real problem is that you don't have a strong why. You don't know why you're doing what you're doing. So you really need to go back to say, why am I doing what am I doing? What is my purpose? What is the goal? What is the big picture? When that is clear, then the how will be much easier. So starting point for me in goal setting is to understand your why. Have a big why. Yeah. The bigger your why, the greater your motivation, the higher the likelihood that you will set that goal and you'll hit it with a big stick. So that is the first thing. And related to that is an issue of clarity. I think a lot of us do not enjoy our own company, where you sit down and you just think and you clarify issues in your own head. Yeah. So you ask people, and all of us cannot clearly state what we want. We actually tend to focus on what we don't want. We love complaining. So you talk about all the things you don't want. But in the meantime, what I know is that what you focus on becomes your reality. So the more you focus on what you don't want, the more it manifests in your life. So starting to plan and have goals is a matter of clarifying issues in your own mind to your own self. Related to that is something you said we'll touch on as well, but let me touch on it. It's an issue of decision making. When you set a goal, you're actually making a decision. You are deciding to prioritize something. So you're having a to-do task, and because you're doing that, a lot of to-don't tasks. So it's the same as, I don't know, you're single, so you've probably come across guys who are scared of commitment, right? Because when they commit to one, avoiding the 100 that are out there, right? But at the end of the day, you'll never achieve anything of significance if you are spreading yourself thin. So goal setting is about knowing your purpose. It's about achieving clarity in terms of what you want to do. It's about being brave enough to
you know, we're having this conversation, and you know,
it's about being brave enough to prioritize, to choose what you will not and what you will do. And then obviously follow through is important, where you actually act on what you need to do. So I didn't want to touch on the mechanics of goal setting because you can find that everywhere. But I really wanted to touch on the soul of goal setting, and that is what it is. Be clear on your purpose, clarify what your big why, and then make a decision to do and to don't.
And you know, I think it's really interesting the way that you've set it out. I love that. You know, it's a logical thought process, and when you explain it like that, it's clear. And I'm thinking, okay, so this is the first step, this is the second step. And you know, touching on the other sessions that we are going to have, you know, as part of the series, and even the ones that we've had already, it's very much becoming like a consistent theme where we're seeing about, you know, even when we're talking about people in the arts industries, they're saying don't be afraid of modest beginnings, because once you take that first step and you have, you know, more experience and exposure to what it is you want to do and why you want to do it, then I guess the pathway just opens up, and it just kind of manifests itself in that way. And, you know, what you're talking about as well, it's especially important when we're looking at, you know, things like anyone who wants to start their own business, or, you know, anyone who just wants to make small improvements in their life, but doesn't really know like where to start. And I love how the way you talk about it is with passion as well. I think passion is probably something that's, for me, it was very lacking, you know, when I first started trying to figure out, okay, what is it that I want to do? What am I about? Where do I want to go? I found myself, the things that I found more difficult to engage in were the things that I was less passionate about. And more often than not, I feel like, you know, us as young people, and just, you know, us as people in general, just living on this earth, we overlook that fact. So I love how, you know, we're having this conversation, and you've really just kind of brought it to life, and, you know, drove the point home. So I think, hopefully this will be helpful for people who are watching, but, you know, we'll see. So yeah, obviously, you know, we're talking about goal setting, and we're talking about the different aspects that come into it, and often we need help with those goals as well. So I thought something that would be really important to kind of explore on a high level is, you know, working in teams, or just I guess the process of, you know, collaboration as well. Because for me, in my entrepreneurial side of life, definitely, I think collaboration was something that I found really hard, because I always felt like, do you know what, I don't want to share my idea with anyone. It's my idea, and I don't want anyone to steal it, or, you know, but actually I found when I started, you know, collaborating with people, working well together with people, I went much further than I would have imagined. So yeah, talk to us about that. What can you tell us? Give us some advice.
Well, a team is formed for a purpose. It has got a goal. So at the end of the day, the team either succeeds or fails based on whether or not it achieves the result. So for me, the best team player is one who enables the team to achieve its goal. It's not necessarily the one who does it by him or herself, because you could do that by yourself, but at the end of the day, you find that nothing of great significance is achieved by an individual working exclusively and entirely on his or her own. See, really, by definition, a team is comprised of diverse individuals. So that diversity is actually a factor that enriches a team, particularly if the diverse talents and characters are all focused towards the common goal. That's the most important thing. If you've got these diverse talents, but you're at cross purposes, and some people are working towards that goal, or some people have got ulterior motives and hidden agendas, then it becomes political, and you are not likely to achieve your goal. So as a team player, number one, you must be someone who gets things done. That's number one, because it's about results. Number two, you must be someone who enables other people to get things done. So if you just get things done by yourself, but you don't enable, or God forbid, you actually inhibit other people from achieving their goals or the goals of the team, then you're not a good team player. And your being out of the team might serve the team better. Number three, quality that I would recommend in a team is, as you put it, that ability to collaborate with other people. So actually put together communication and collaboration as one big thing, because communication is like the oil that goes between the gears of human interaction. If you cannot communicate effectively, if you cannot communicate in a positive way that helps people to focus on the goal and to achieve it, then you are a liability to the team and you are not adding value to the team. Another quality I would probably, maybe that's the last one because I don't want to go on and on, is being proactive. In the team, you need people who can get things done. It's having what I call self-drive. You don't wait for something to kickstart you, but you see that there's a need, you attend to it. You see that one of the team members seems to be maybe dragging their feet. You go and inquire, hey, what is it? Can I help you? You see that someone maybe has taken on a load that is too big for them to carry. You go and volunteer. So being proactive is priceless. If you're a team member and you're proactive, you're likely to be the kind of team member that's sought after. Maybe the very last thing, because it's also important, emotional intelligence. You need emotional intelligence in it. Because if you're one of those people who tend to take things very personally and who gets rubbed the wrong way very easily, you become a very difficult person to talk to work with. It's somebody who is a pain in the wrong place. And that's certainly not a good quality to have in a team. So yeah. Those are some of the lessons for you in terms of teamwork.
Do you know what, Jonah? I feel like I'm listening to my mother talk because she always says this to me. She's just like, oh, you just take things the wrong way. And I'm like, no. So, you know,
there's somebody who just sent a question.
Sorry?
Somebody just sent a question. Did you see it?
Yes.
What lesson
you yes,
want to learn? Anyway, I can answer that whenever you want me to.
No, please answer it now.
Now, okay. So this is a lesson that maybe I can say, you know, learning has got different levels. So for example, when you're in grade 1, you learn mathematics and you are told that 1 minus 2, it can't. It is correct at that level. When you go to Form 1, you learn that 1 minus 2, it's actually minus 1. So it's all learning. So what I find intriguing about life is that no matter what age you are, you can still learn. You might be learning the same things you've learned before, but you're now learning them at another level. It's almost like you're evolving to another level. So one of the lessons that I learned recently is a lesson about what I call positive impact. I've always been driven to make a difference in people's lives, but I'd never quite identified it and clarified it and made it abundantly clear to myself what that means. So it became clear to me when I fell ill just at the beginning of COVID, and I was scared I had COVID, and I thought I was going to die. And I started reflecting on my life, and what came to mind is that I realized, looking at the talents I have, the knowledge that I possess, the skills, the connections, what I've achieved in life is a tiny fraction of what I'm capable of achieving. And what I need to do is to create positive impact, touch the lives of as many people as possible in a positive way. Because at the end of the day, I came into this world naked, and I'll go back, well, maybe with a cloth wrapped around me, naked. But all I'll leave behind is the impact of making in other people's lives. So right now, I'm obsessed about positive impact. And that's a lesson I learned probably 3 weeks ago. Right. So that's my answer to you. One of the most important lessons I learned is what ultimately what really matters is the impact you make in other people's lives. I've always known it, but I never quite framed it with the same level of clarity that I now do.
Mm-hmm. That's really interesting. So we're getting it hot off the press then, 3 weeks old. That's no, really, honestly, yeah, I agree with you there, and it's something that I'm very, very passionate about as well. But I also feel like I haven't even scratch the surface of, you know, what it is that I'm really, really passionate about. Like, I have a few things which I love doing, and I have, you know, quite a few things that I enjoy doing, but I want to get to that level where I feel like, you know what, that this is where I see myself, you know, still working towards this goal in 5 years' time. So I'm quite excited. At least I've got you to mentor me, which is really great. But of course, you know, obviously everyone else has got you to mentor them as well. I mean, that's part of the whole syndicate. We're trying to, you know, give people access to amazing minds. We're trying to give people access to inspiring people who can help us shape our goals in life, and also help us shape, you know, what it is that we want to become as people. So thank you so much, Jonah. I think we're coming to the end of our time, but yeah, no, I just wanted to give people an insight into who you are, because I've met you, and you know, like I said, the conversation that we had at the event that you came to was just very thought-provoking, and I still look back on it now, and I still take inspiration from it now, and I feel like, you know, this is, we need to share you, you know, the world needs to see you, Jonah, so more people can access your expertise. So Thank you so, so much. And yeah, like I said, if anyone wants to book in a session with Jonah, I'm sure he's more than happy to. And I'm sure we will speak soon as well. Any last words before?
Great. Well, if there's anybody who's got any other question, I could answer that in my last words. Other than that, thank you. Actually, one thing I've just learned right now.
I think there is a last question, Jonah, actually. But sorry, I'll let you finish it, then we can.
Okay. So remember the question was, what have you learned late in life? Well, tell you what, this is my first Instagram session. So I've just learned something.
Way.
Yes, seriously.
Oh,
this is my very first Instagram session. So this is really memorable.
Yes,
all right, so what are the questions? Some of them are scrolled off the screen. Yes. I can answer maybe 2 or 3 before we go. Can you provide more detail on your initiatives and just provide the links again? Thank you. Well, personally, if you want to get in touch with me, my email address is Jonah, Jonah, at jonahmungoshi.com. JONAH at jonahmungoshi.com. And Jonah Mungoshi is JONAHMUNGOSHI. No underscore, no dash, nothing in there, .com. So yeah, that's it. I do quite a number of things, but I think if I'm to go into all of them right now, we don't have time. So one of the things we do is Empowered Youth, Empowered Life Trust. We run the Youth Entrepreneurship Program. It has been sponsored by CBZ for the past 4 years. I also run the teen workshops. We call them Teen Breakthrough for the teens and the tweenies. And then I also run workshops for adults, but mostly these are for organizations, for companies. I've worked with many organizations, team building, retreats, leadership training, etc. So yeah, if you want more, just send me an email on that email address. Was there any other question before this one? I think some of them scrolled off my screen.
No, it was just saying, well done, Jonah. And then Gloria said she used to listen to you on The Breeze with Tariro.
Okay.
She said, great to hear from you again. So. But yeah, also,
great. So anyway,
to that as well.
Yeah. Last words is that you need to make meaning out of your life, and you only make meaning out of life based on the impact, the positive impact you are making in the world. So think about it. Yeah. If you look at your talents, your skills, your knowledge, your connections, are you making the impact in the world that God has created you to make? That's all. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jonah. But yeah, obviously people can get in touch with you through this Instagram account as well. I'd be more than happy to pass on any feedback or any correspondence or any requests for sessions. And if anyone would like to donate as well to the Zim Bright Futures Fund, please feel free to do so. All of this is, for the aim of raising money to provide families in need in Zimbabwe, in Matare, not even, with food packs. So yes. That is us for today. Thank you very, very much, Jonah, and I will speak to you soon.
Thank you, Blessing. It's been a pleasure. Bye for now.